When British MP Zara Sultana and former leader of the Labour Party Jeremy Corbyn announced to form a new socialist party, it triggered a ripple of excitement among people with more than 600,000 people signing up to join the party. But soon fissures started emerging within the ranks, and the first bone of contention was related to financial matters, whereby Zara Sultana was accused of withholding some fundings or receiving fundings without prior approval. She was also accused of making some decision without concrete discussion. And then Zara Sultana also went public with her accusation, accusing some of the members or some of the party members around Jeremy Corbyn of being transphobe and socially conservative. And then finally, another big problem arose during the Congress of the party when some socialist members were barred from attending the conference, prompting Zara Sultana to mount a strong protest. And finally, she was somehow persuaded, and it was decided during the Congress that those people who belong to the parties or have the memberships of parties that might put up candidates during the election against your party may not be given membership of your party. And uh, for for at least at that time, it seemed that Zara Sultana emerged as victorious because socialist members were allowed to join the party. In addition to that, instead of having a single leader, the party somehow decided to have collective leadership. But recently, on the 12th April, perhaps the Central Executive Committee of your party decided to kick out socialist members. So this is another blow to the party, and now it seems that the party is going to disappoint many people who were trying to pin hopes on this new leadership, and uh, and because of that, you see the Secretary General of Socialist Party has written a long letter. It's important to discuss that Hannah Sell has written that letter, and in that letter, uh, before that letter, one of the Socialist Party's organ has reported at the meeting of the Your Party Central Executive Committee that took place on 12 April, a decision was taken to exclude members of a list of organizations, including the Socialist Party, on the grounds that their internal organizational models and strategic objectives are distant from and incompatible with the values and constitutional framework of your party. In response, the Socialist Party has written to the Your Party officers, and this is the letter that Hannah has written. I'm writing on behalf of the Socialist Party to ask you for an urgent discussion on the participation of our party and its member in your party and other related issues. I, along with Socialist Party members, received the 12 April 2026 email to your party members from Jan Forbes, which reported the Central Executive Committee had that day taken a decision that members of other national political parties that do not align with uh, your parties are ineligible for membership of your party, which we understand includes the Socialist Party. You will not be surprised to know that we think this decision is a serious mistake. It does not reflect, we believe, the views of the majority of your party members who voted for dual membership at the founding conference last November. Many are trying to especially criticize because how can Central Executive Committee reverse the decision of the Congress? Normally, it is believed that if the Congress of a left-wing party has taken a decision, then it can only be reversed by the Congress. Well, it may vary sometime from party to party, with some parties empowering Central Executive Committee to make amendments, but this has really surprised many. She goes on to add, Unfortunately, it also not a surprise as this decision is a continuation of the approach to establishing a new party taken up until now. I previously wrote on behalf of the Socialist Party to the then interim leadership of your party on 7 January 2026 to ask for a discussion to clarify your approach to dual membership weeks before the central executive election got underway. We received no reply. Given the lack of response, Socialist Party members, including Dev Nihilist and April Ashley, went ahead and put their names forward for the Central Executive Committee. Dev Nihilist is a former Labour MP and chair of the Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition. April Ashley had been re-elected in 2025 as the female black members representative of Unison National Executive Council, topping the poll with 28,792 votes, more than the numbers who voted in the whole CEC elections. And yet both were ruled out of order on the grounds of their Socialist Party membership. The most recent Central Executive Committee's decision is a continuation of that mistaken approach. However, as unlike then, there is now an elected CEC, which Jane Forbes letters states wants your party to stand alongside other left forces on the many issues on which we agree. I hope that you will take the time to meet and discuss the question of how the Socialist Party and its member could participate in your party, as well as to explore how we can develop future collaboration if we are unwilling to reverse your decision. If you are unwilling to reverse your decision. Some arguments against the decision: we have seen copies of Central Executive Governance paper on dual party membership eligibility, which we assume is a broadly accurate representation of what was agreed at the CEC meeting. It states that formal membership of another national political party or political organization operating with its own ideology, program, and system of internal discipline is incomparable with membership of your party. But why obviously we agree that pro-capitalist party, but why we obviously agree that pro-capitalist parties should not be eligible for dual membership, but why exclude those such as ourselves who wholeheartedly agree with your party's aspiration summarized in the founding statement to build a democratic member-led socialist party with the working class at its heart. The Socialist Party has a sizable base in the trade union movement and also plays a lead role on the university campuses. Collectively, we have more than 6 decade experience in class struggle, first as militant and now as the Socialist Party, including in leading two mass struggles which successfully defeated the Thatcher government in Liverpool City Council and the poll tax. For decades, we have been campaigning for a new workers' party, and we wholeheartedly welcomed your party as a possible step towards such a party. How on earth could it aid the struggle to build a mass party based on the working class to exclude us? True Jan Forbes letter appeals to individuals to leave their existing parties and join your party. But we would never insult the intelligence of your party members by claiming experienced fighters for the working class had suddenly renounced their history and ideas to join your party only as individuals. Dev Nihilist did not do so in 1991 when it was a matter of remaining as a Labour MP. A stand supported by Jeremy Corbyn at the time, nor did many other militant supporters with positions in the Labour Party and trade union movement. The governance paper argues that any part or organization which operates on the basis of democratic centralism maintains its own national political membership structure and requires political discipline and accountability to an external leadership and program would automatically fall within the scope of the ineligibility rule. But what is the problem of the existence of socialist organizations within your party that argue for their point of view? The Socialist Party currently has around 2000 members. There is no question of us or any of the other organizations on the proscribed list being able to dominate your party via weight of number, even with your party's current size, which is far below its original potential. Nor can it be argued that Socialist Party members don't abide by the democratic decisions of broader workers' organizations of which we are part. On the contrary, we have demonstrated that we do so consistently in our long history in the trade union and labor movement, working alongside other forces to further the interest of the working class. For example, in a trade union strike ballot where our members argue to accept or reject a deal, they clearly abide by the decision of the majority if they lose the vote. To give another example, in the past, the Socialist Party, then the militant tendency, was part of the Labour Party. Of course, we argued and voted for constituency parties to select council and parliamentary candidates who agreed with our program, but our supporters still went and canvassed for whichever candidates the membership selected, even if we disagreed with them on many issues. John Forbes later argues that transparent democratic decision making is only possible where every member is able to trust that whatever differences of opinion arise, all members put your party's interests first, and that this trust cannot be built when some members vote according to a line set elsewhere. But what does this mean? In any left party members and leaders are subject in any left party members and leaders are subject to huge outside pressures which, unlike membership of a socialist organization, are aimed at wrecking the left party. Remember the battles that took place in the Labour Party under Jeremy Corbyn's leadership and the gigantic pressures that were exerted by the capitalist press and right-wing media as well as the Blairite wing of the party to ditch Corbyn for someone more moderate that is safe for capitalism. There are many lessons to be learned from that period, but a key one is that it is impossible to have a party sealed off from outside influences. Instead, a mass membership organized in a democratic structure and based on the working class is the only effective way to counter the pressures of the capitalist class. In our view, Marxist organizations also have a crucial role to play. It is an accident that expelling militant from the Labour Party was a prerequisite step on the long road to its transformation into New Labour. When Socialist Party members have argued for your party to oppose cuts in local services or for the party to be built on a federal basis with the trade unions playing a central role, we have been putting your party's interests first as we see them. Others clearly have different ideas for what is in the best interest of your party. But that is inevitable. It is not possible to create a new mass workers' party without different views and trends within it. Of course, we understand the urge to unity and sometimes the frustration with different left organizations who appear incapable of seeing their own individual priorities in proportion to the interest of the movement as a whole. Such problems will never, however, be successfully overcome by top-down or bureaucratic measures that try to impose unity from above. Instead, as we warned in our letter on 7th January 2026, despite the enthusiasm of the 800,000 who initially responded to the call for the new party, such an approach would fail, as was the case with Arthur's Socialist Labour Party. The same fate is unfortunately clearly posed for your party, affiliates, federalism, and the trade unions. In addition to agreeing dual membership, the Constitution agreed at the founding conference also proposed to look at a proposal on affiliations, including from trade unions, over the following year. As far as we are aware, no further progress has been made on that issue. Nonetheless, we would like to discuss how you see this crucial question, including how you envisage affiliates having a democratic say in your party. Achieving that would require looking at some kind of federal aspect to your party's structure. Our experience in the trade unionist and socialist coalition is an example of how different forces have, despite many differences between, able to successfully collaborate together over 15 years in order to help provide an inclusive electoral banner under which workers, candidates from different organizations and from none can contest elections on an anti-austerity program without any way being dominated by other organizations within the Tusk umbrella. Tusk's federal approach on a bigger scale is now the Labour Party was first formed. The first conference of Labour Representative Committee had delegates from 41 trade unions plus various socialist and Marxist organizations. In our view, such a federal approach, recognizing the existence of different left organizations and involving all those who were willing in a structured way to collaborate to develop a new party, would have been the best starting point to get your party off the ground. However, we have never seen the development of a new party as being primarily about cooperation between different left forces. For us, the pressing need is for working class to develop a new party, and therefore the battle in the trade unions is key. Nor can that battle just be about which party trade unions give money to. Rather, it should be about the working class creating its own party. Had your party given unions a central place in its structure from the start and begun with an energetic campaign aimed at the base of trade unions, it could already have won some union affiliates which would have been transformed its character. As things stand, how, however, your party is not about to win trade union affiliates. Nonetheless, anger at the Labour government is creating political ferment in the trade unions, and discussions are heating up on how the workers' movement can create a political voice. As you know, Socialist Party members are playing key roles in these debates. Our members helped to instigate the trade unionists for a new party campaigns in different unions after the 1000+ launch meeting last summer organized by Dave Nilist and addressed by Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana. At the moment, at the moment, the Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition Steering Committee, in which we participate, is helping to coordinate this campaign, but its aim is not to win trade union affiliates to TUS, but rather to push the debate forward in the trade unions. We hope you share this aim. To give one example, last year, Unite, a union of 1.2 million, voted to reassess its relationship with Labour. If the union was to vote for the next step, above all, starting to stand candidates itself, it would represent a huge step forward. We would like to discuss with you how we could take forward this vital work. So that was Hannah Sel, and she is Socialist Party General Secretary. So that's very interesting. Of course, this would plunge many workers and supporters of the your party, and let's see how it unfolds. But apparently it seems that your party is in turmoil again, and these internal fissures could badly affect its performance in upcoming elections. So it is to be seen how the your party leadership tries to resolve this issue.